Hello everyone. Welcome to this short video on an introduction to geophysical science. This is for both geoscience and pre-AP geoscience. And the purpose of this video is to basically introduce you to some of the topics we'll be covering this year. And also the most important thing is to learn how to use these things called learning guides. You're going to be doing this in all of your classes this year while we're virtual at Berthoud High School. So this is just a short, easy assignment just to make sure that you know how to use a learning guide and we're all on the same page while we're doing this. Okay, so here's an outline of what we'll be covering. So this year's going to go by really fast because they combined it into a true block schedule. So we'll be through all of the first semester stuff by mid-October. Okay, and then second semester stuff, we'll be finished with that by winter break. So it'll go really fast. Meeting every day, you cover a lot of material. Okay, so a picture is worth 1,000 words. So we'll go through each of these topics and I just have a short picture for each one. So we're going to start off the year. Actually, we'll do a little bit on the scientific method first on graphing. And then we're going to do the Earth, Sun, Moon system. We'll do a space weather project. It's really cool to talk about the interaction between the Earth and the Sun when there's solar flares and how that affects the Earth and Earth's magnetic field. Also monitoring sunspots. So that'll be our first major topic in astronomy. Next, we'll get into the solar system. We'll use some websites by NASA, do a lot of comparative graphing between the different planets, similarities and differences, graphing their gravitational field strength, how fast they orbit the sun, things like that. Then we'll get into one of my favorite topics, which is the life cycle of stars, how stars shine through nuclear fusion, HR diagrams, how they produce their energy and their whole life cycle. Then we'll end the unit on astronomy with the big picture stuff, which would be galaxies and the whole universe. That topic is sometimes called cosmology. How the universe, basically all the parts of the universe, how big is it, what is it made of, that kind of big picture stuff. So the astronomy is a really large unit. It takes up most of first semester. Then we'll be talking about plate tectonics, which is basically, a lot of you probably had this in middle school, but we're talking about the mechanisms of how plate tectonics works, how they're related to earthquakes and volcanoes. We'll also do electromagnetic radiation, the waves, what is an electromagnetic wave, what is a light wave, how electricity and magnetism are linked together, and also how they use electromagnetism in astronomy to view the different parts of the cosmos through electromagnetic radiation, things like radio astronomy. Okay, and that ends first semester. So it's a lot of material. We'll go pretty fast. And then sometime in late October, we'll start with second semester. We'll begin with Earth history. Sometimes this is called paleontology. Hopefully we'll be in school for this unit and we can do some labs with fossils, reconstructing some of Earth's history with those fossils. Then we'll do some meteorology and climatology. I have a big project on paleoclimate where you look at past climates and graph different variables like CO2 and temperature, solar cycles, tree rings, things like that, and how they have affected climate in the past. And finally, the last unit we'll do, this takes up the bulk of fourth quarter, is environment and chemistry. I kind of combine together. How do you use chemistry to study the environment? We do two big labs. One is the effects of DDT on chicken egg shells, and we figure out how much calcium carbonate's in an eggshell, and then we do some other experiments with chemistry to figure out how much phosphate's in drinking water, and we'll do some chemistry lab tests to determine that. So the chemistry we do is tied in with environmental issues and pollution and that kind of stuff, and that's how we end the school year. Okay, so the next thing I want to show you is the learning guide. So you should have a link to this in your Google Classroom. Now normally what's called our virtual week will begin on Wednesday, and every teacher will be handing out this to every student in all their classes on Wednesday, and it'll have all the assignments for the week. And I'm assuming most teachers are going to say this is due Tuesday by midnight probably, or whatever your teacher says, probably by the end of the day on Tuesday, so that Wednesday you start a new learning guide and you'll get one of these every week. Okay, now for this learning guide, it's just a practice. I want to make sure you know how to use a learning guide, so you're going to turn it in as soon as you finish this first assignment. It's a very easy short assignment. It's just answering 4 or 5 questions after watching this video on geoscience. Okay, and then basically what you're going to do is follow these steps. So you'll see the link over here. So right over here, let's see if I get my pen working. Yeah, so this is the link to the assignments you'll do. So you'll click that link and you'll open it up and you'll follow these steps. There's another slide that says it's a little bit enlarged here basically, but you'll type everything in there and then you'll save the URL and then it will get posted over here. So this is where you'll paste your link, okay? So everything you turn into Google Classroom gets turned in here. I put down 30 minutes. You may be able to do this in a lot faster than 30 minutes. That includes the time to watch this video, which I'm rambling on about. Okay, so like I said, normally you'll turn this in a week later, but this one I want you to turn in immediately so that when we have class on Wednesday, we can go over if there were any issues and any problems you might have had with the learning guide. So this next slide, basically, this will be the assignment. There's 4 questions on here. You'll type it in here in Google Docs. There's 4 more questions after that. They're real easy questions about what was the most interesting topic to you that we'll be studying this year. Things like that. Nothing that's going to tax you. It's too hard. But here's the important steps. So once you click on the assignment link, you want to go to File and Make a Copy. Okay? And that's what you'll be writing on. When you finish answering the questions on your computer, click Share in the top right corner. Okay? Click the box that says Get a Link. Okay? Make sure you select, there should be like a menu with a little triangle that goes down that anyone with the link can view, because if you don't click that, I'm not going to be able to see the assignment. It'll look like you didn't do the assignment. So you'll be sharing that link with me, so I'll be able to view your assignment. Okay? Go back to your learning guide and click Paste in the far right box, just like I showed you. So we're talking right over here. This is where you're going to paste the URL link for your finished assignment. Okay? And then after you paste that, like I said, normally you'd be turning this in after a week, but I want you to turn this in immediately. As soon as you're done today at the end of class, okay, you should click Turn In. And I should have, by the end of the day today, all of my students should have their learning guide for that first simple assignment turned in, just to make sure that everything works. So email me if you have a question, but you're going to have to play around with this a little bit. Once you get the hang of this, this should work out really nice, because all of your assignments are going to be in one place, easy for you to find for all of your classes. So I hope that answers everything you have. And like I said, if you have any questions,